YouTube and TikTok as well, right? Am I right, Ralph?
Yes.
So, and our text number is 0999-887-6070. Ang atong topic karong adlaw, Septembre 16 is very controversial na siya nga topic. Are we all cheaters? Ha?
Agree.
Ha? Tikasan ba tatanan, especially sa eskwelahan, nga sige tagpangopya? Kita ba natanan or gamay ra na sila nga porsyento sa mga estudyante?
Good question.
Naara ba tayong mga studies to uncover later on? May mga nag-study ni ani. How do you call this? During the pandemic nga ang ato ang mga klase na sa
Online.
Zoom, di ba?
Mm-mm.
Or sa Google Meet
Classroom.
o also post-pandemic,
Oo.
di ba?
Ay, pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic.
Mm-mm.
So ato nang tukion karong taod-taod. So ang atong topic karong buntaga is are we all cheaters? So nahisgutan nila ako, Ralph, kay ako ang mga duha ka estudyante, actually nang graduate na ni sila, nag-ingon sila nga grabe kuno kay ka prevalent kuno ang nakabantay silang grabe kay ka prevalent ang cheating sa school kuno. So murang ano unsa kay isolated ba kani nga case or this is really common. Yeah, I also remember when I was in school, right? Nga medyo dagan-dagan sa tug mga cheating. In fact, full disclosure, I wasn't really a very smart kid when I was in school, especially high school. Unya kaning like usay magsuwat-suwat kasi imuhang magsuwat-suwat ko sa ako ang kamot, usahay himo kag kudigo nga gamay kayong papel nga imong pilon o kapila, usahay sad manglili ka sa imuhang mga classmate. Ana bitaw?
Yeah.
Unya usahay sad daghang kay pamagi, usahay sad kanang leakage, di ba? Leakage, di ba?
Yeah,
kanang exams of a previous kuan, imuhang you get a copy ahead of time and all of that stuff, right? So I'm guilty of that actually. Full disclosure lang ba? I don't wanna sound like I'm holier than thou, you know. So full disclosure, like because I wasn't a big fan of going to school because I was already working at that time in media, right? So it was really just to please my parents, more than anything else. The going to school part, ba? Yeah. So murag, I didn't really take it seriously, but of course later on in life, I went back to school and took several other courses. But the katong high school murag lisod jud ko ato, so I wasn't an angel, in other words. How about you, Ralph? Ikaw, Ralph, are you the kind? Okay, graduate na bitaw ka, dili nam to kuhaon nimong bawion nimong grado ba?
Amot lang.
unsa may ganun ha? Pwede pa na nabawion ang grado di kay nag-cheating ka na buang. Unsa may imong experience sa sa imong school life, education life? Were you or did you notice a lot of cheating going on?
Yeah, definitely, especially sa high school level. Kay it was very kanang out in the open gani, like naiuban nga dili jud kayo maulaw, like mulingi lang jud sila. And yeah, I even learned nga kon sa isa ka section kay ang mga maestro dito, they basically gave up on the students.
What does that mean?
Pag abot sa mga exams kay magbalinay ra sila mga lingkuranan niya, magpuli-puli ra sila. Unsay answer nimo ba? Unsay answer nimo ba? Unya dira ba unsay tubag nimo dira? Like the teachers did not bother to stop them na. Like magbarog sila, like just literally hopping from one place to another, nangitag mga answers and ang mga maestro wala na. Like igor sila mo tanaw silang cellphone while all that's happening.
So grabe kayo ka blatant.
Oh, grabe kay ka blatant.
More dili na gitago.
Oh.
So unsa may what are the, when you say cheating, what are the kinds of cheating during your time in school? Like unsa may types of cheating? Because daghan mga types of cheating in school, di ba?
Yeah.
I already mentioned it to you, some of them, right? Unsa pa may mga bagong style karon?
Well, kato kay old school to kay kani katong i-mention ako nga mo duol sa imong mga kaila kay mangitag answers and all that, mo tan-aw ka sa ilang paper and all that. Pero natoy isa ka new form of cheating nga kan nakalusot akong classmate tong grade 10 mi. Kay katong nga time kay I think the teachers were starting to catch on na gani sa mga smartphones. So kanjud before sa mga exams kay i-confiscate nila ang mga smartphones.
Okay.
Pero smartwatches were a thing.
Oy.
So wala na
Unsa man
confiscate ang mga smartwatch.
unsa man pag-cheat ba? Unsa man pag-cheat?
Well, ang kanang mga smartwatch kay maka-connect may pa na sa internet. And
Okay, so unsa man?
you could still like search things on them.
Mm.
You can even like calculate things on them, like wala if tinapulan di ka ganahan mo agi sa kanang calculator, pwede na jud nimo iagi dito sa imong smartwatch.
Okay.
And nakoy classmate na kaanjud like he nakakuan siya sa iyang smartwatch, and then we started noticing na he was using his smartwatch, and he was just like shh. Ay saba ipasaran ako, don't worry. Like so nagkuwat ra pod mi ipasaran niya. Yeah, so yeah, that's probably
so naghuwat ka nga ipasa niya ang samanang
ang iyang mga tubag.
Okay. Unya ni apil sa gagawa sa answer niya.
Oh, kami tanan.
Okay. So this was using a smartphone,
A
smartwatch, di ba? Pero wala naman ang mga kodigo.
Oh, napagyapon.
Napagyapon sa still exist.
Oh, yeah, nagyapon na old school lagi kan mga kodigo.
So kanang kodigo for those of you who don't know what it is, kanang not that I'm encouraging you to do this. Kanang a small piece of paper, you just write down the answers, right?
Yeah.
And or maybe you write it on the insides of your hands, right? The palm of your hands, right? And other parts of your body.
Yeah, basta mataguan.
So swerte kay nang daghang tattoo, di ba? Di makitaan, di. Di makitaan.
Wanang bawal ang tattoo sa mga public school. Okay. Mataguan na nimo yung mga
kodigo dito poros di. Ay kan daghan mga nagitattoo si kuano, Inday or si Dudong Mga kodigo dito.
Kodigo ra dito poros.
Sa muka. So but ngano man ba? Ngano why but I think we have to, as usual, do a definition of terms, right? By the way, maayong buntag ni mo diya Mary Joy Carino Chavez, maayong buntag ni mo diya madam ni siya, sir. Kinsa man imohaning parente?
Ako ning mama.
Oy, mama maayong buntag ni mo diya, madam. Daghang salamat sa imong pagpaminaw. Ni reveal na si Ralph nga mag-cheating na siya ginagmay day.
Oh no.
Pasaylo in town si Ralph, madam. Kaya mo gong hisgutan karong buntaga god is are we all cheaters in school at least. So where was I? Kaning cheating unsa man di, what does it mean man di when you use the word cheating, especially for the context of school, right? What does it mean?
Okay, good question.
Ato lang yung tanawon ang dictionary definition, importante man agud.
Yeah, lagi.
Para to have a good conversation about anything, I think first things first yun is definition of terms. Yun.
Yeah, exactly.
Para magkasinabot ta.
Yeah.
So wala atong gistoryaan.
So textbook definition of cheating is in an academic setting, cheating refers to any dishonest or unfair behavior students use to gain an advantage in assessments, assignments, or any academic requirements. It violates the principles of honesty, fairness, and integrity, which is expected in education.
So muna siya, that's what cheating means, right?
Yeah.
Unya, hisgot ka ang old school way of cheating, katong mga kodigo-kodigo. Ningon ka na high-tech. Niya itong una, pag high school nimo smartwatch, di ba? Pero karon ba, grabe na kay ka-insidious, mas lisod pag sakpon. Kaya na may AI, di ba? Di ba? AI.
Yeah.
Unya ka ng AI, maybe you can't perhaps cheat in an exam, pero maka-cheat ka sa imong mga projects and mga thesis that requires writing, di ba? Mga assignment, di ba? Which is probably more insidious, di ba? Kay usahay na may pamaagi nga lisod sakpon, di ba? So ang tanaw nimo is cheating using AI prevalent now in the colleges and universities in Cebu?
Well, I can definitely say in my experience, yes. Yeah, it's prevalent. It's not necessarily just in Cebu. I think it's prevalent everywhere.
Mm.
Okay, everybody. I think everybody around the world who has access to internet knows about ChatGPT,
Mm.
Gemini, and they are using these resources Jude, because you cannot dili jud nimo ma-deny ang convenience
Mm.
nga mahatag
Balik
sa
gyapon sa
AI.
pagkatapulan to sa.
Oo.
Balik na po diha, di ba?
Mobalik yapon sa atong pagkatapulan.
So ang pangutana ni ani ba sunod siguro is ngano man why do why do people cheat? Unsa may rationale nila? Do we have that mga naman unsa may mga reasons, motivations for cheating?
Well, according to sa kaning mga studies na atong na-compile dire, a lot of the motivations for cheating are first and foremost fear of failure and kaning pressure sa grades. So students across different institutions consistently reported fear of failing and a desire for high grades as ang prime motives nila for cheating. Besides that na po'y time pressure and workload, especially sa mga pandemic era nga studies, highlighted students juggling work and school as reasons for dishonesty. And there's also teaching dissatisfaction nga na ay mga students who cited dissatisfaction with how their professors taught as one of the factors for cheating as well. Siguro like sila ganahan sa tungod sa style sa pagtudlo wala sila nasabtan, something like that. And then besides that na po'y extrinsic motivation effect, where a high school experiment showed that extrinsically motivated students, especially with free seating, cheated significantly more. Yan na po'y peer influence and ease as the final motivation for cheating. So students pointed to peer behavior and opportunity as strong enablers of cheating.
So we mentioned earlier during the beginning of our podcast, this episode at least, nga naatay mga studies nga we looked into, right? Can you take out those studies so we can discuss what the results are of those studies? Maybe you can also mention the period in which these studies about cheating in the Philippines in school is concerned. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, for a lot of these studies that just for the ones that for the data we cited just now, okay, there's one study from 2021, one from 2016, one from 2014, and another one from 2015.
Okay.
There's two day from 2021. So EJ Edu 2021, and their study nga one moment asa man to. Sorry, medyo daghan na ba ni?
Sige lang, go ahead. Ato ning tanawon be. Basig mo deny ni sila nga mag-cheat sila. Basig magpagudito show sila be tanawon to unsa may porsyento sa mga estudyante nga mag-cheating be.
Okay, one moment. Well, this study by this was an assessment of engineering students in a state university.
Engineering students, medyo difficult na siya nga kurso, di ba? Not exactly the most difficult. Well, depende po imuhang skill set, di ba? Usually mga math man di ba nga maayo, di ba?
Yeah.
So unsa may stats? Is this a school specific study or dili siya?
Yeah, it is specifically towards kaning engineering students in one of the state universities in the Philippines.
Wala gi mention ang UP.
Wala. Oh, wait.
UP ni
school.
Sige lang, dili siguro
in one of the state.
Dili siguro magpa-mention siguro.
Basin, yeah. In one of the state universities ang nakabutang man dire.
Sige. Asa man ni kano sa man ni gibuhat nga nga thesis nga study.
Okay, this was a study in 2023.
So during the pandemic ni siya.
Post-pandemic na
Post na siya.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're already exiting the
Pero kuan pa man to, hybrid pa man to ang atong mga
hybrid
eskwelahan, di ba?
Yeah, hybrid.
Na ay classroom, na apoy in person, di ba?
Yeah.
Kani nga online, di ba? In person and then online, di ba? Hybrid, di ba?
In person and online. Yeah.
Okay, so unsa may study, unsa may results sa iyang study? Pila man kabuok ang iyang gistudihan niya sa resulta na ay pila ka percentage ang mag-cheat, no?
Well, out of 186 students in the study, 86% or 160 of the students admitted to some form of academic dishonesty in online tasks.
86%.
Yeah.
Wow. So mo ni siya ang in online nga class ni siya.
hybrid.
Hybrid na
Yeah.
siya. Okay. So that's just one study. Engineering course na siya. Napay lang study or mora na siya atong masite?
Well, dagan matag studies, pero it's the only one with like which gave like statistics on the number of
So
respondents.
grabe jo kay ka prevalent di ay.
Mm.
Unya, how about karong mga bag-o siguro nga dili na ta hybrid, or maybe what do you have there? Do you have anything pre-pandemic unsa may naani mo diha?
Yeah,
Ralph?
we do have some pre-pandemic
Pre-pandemic
studies.
kuno tanaw na to katong before ta nag-hybrid, before ta nag-online exams unsa may resulta sa imong exam. Katong 2023 study among engineering students, 86% of the students studied said that they cheated. How about during the pre-pandemic era nga wala tay online class pa? Go ahead.
Well, ang kaning mga pre-pandemic studies kay it's more on perceptions and behaviors. Dili kay siya on like hard numbers on like counting jud how many in the student population
Okay.
cheat. A lot of the studies is like like understanding perception and prevalence of plagiarism among college freshman students of De La Salle, Lipa, Philippines. Yep. Perceptions of accountancy students and faculty of De La Salle University on academic dishonesty using the business fraud triangle model. Mga kani kay case study.
So may resulta sa case study niya about cheating in school in the Philippines.
Basically, a case study on how selected grade 9 students in one of the prominent Catholic schools in Baguio City view and define academic dishonesty.
Okay, go ahead.
So, it was just basically like what behaviors they considered cheating and all that.
Okay, so what are the results? Dahil resulta ang ilang study? Diya, wala.
One moment.
This was conducted in 2016. Atong tanawon biyon sa resulta sa thesis niya. Mga kailangan ng atong hisgutan karong buntaga is, are we all cheaters? Do we all cheat in school? And what are the motivations for this? And what does it even mean? If you cheat in school, does that mean that you're gonna cheat in life or what? Let us know. Text 0999 887-6070. You can join us in our conversations sa atong YouTube channel, Tops Media Center, also on TikTok, Tops Media Center, and on Facebook, Tops Media Center. Narami diri, kuhot-huot ninyo diha kung ganahan mo mo salmot sa amo ang diskusyon karong buntaga nga very interesting. We're talking about are we all cheaters? Do we all cheat in school? Manikas pa ta sa eskwelahan? Yes or no? And why not? Why or why not? Let us know your thoughts. 0999-887-6070. You can go to YouTube, Tops Media Center, and participate in our conversation. Na study nga gi-pull out ni Ralph kaganiha nga 86% of engineering students were cheaters, were cheating. Admitted to dishonesty, admitted to cheating. This was during 2023 when our classes were hybrid, meaning to say in person and online. And ya kani magong online pod nga klase pod, especially kung naay exams, murag sayon kayo i-cheat kay ang purview, ang literal view sa kuan di ay sa maestra limited raman. So pwede ra man ka nga number one, pwede ra ka mag-brief, di ba? Pwede ra ka mag-brief niya attend ka klase, mag-uniform lang ka sa taas, di ba? Number two, pwede ra ka na ipapils to bangan nimo na ka iPad killer nimo dili man makitaan, di ba? Intake nimo exam. So sayon gyud kayo i-cheat, right? So unsa may nakita nimo, Ralph? Unsa may resulta sa study?
Well, apparently some high school students defined honesty very narrowly.
Okay.
Like copying during tests. Mo nang main definition nila sa what is cheating in the academic setting.
Okay.
While gina-overlook nila ang kaning plagiarism o excessive helping as a form of dishonesty or a form of cheating. Kanang nakay classmate nga mutabang sa imo, kana bay kana mo nang kan answer niya or something like that.
So dili siya considered cheating.
Oh.
Kanang plagiarism also they're very forgiving. Dili siya na considered cheating and plagiarism.
Yeah, and this is pre-pandemic.
This is the students saying it, right? This is not the faculty, right? I'm sure the faculty will disagree to that, right?
Yeah. In most of the studies we have here, the faculty tend to have stricter views of dishonesty. While students they really downplay a lot of things like collaboration, sharing answers, and minor plagiarism as forms of cheating. Gina-downplay daw nila.
So do we have other surveys there? Do we have other studies pa nga we can cite before we move on? Because it's important to have studies so that our conversation is backed up by numbers, right? Our topic of today is are we all cheaters? Do we all cheat in school? And what does that mean? Does that mean we also cheat even after school? And does that mean that when we're in government, does that mean that we become corrupt? You know, it could be, we could be on to something here, right? So unsa pay lain dia ba? Unsa pay lain nimo nga nabasahan dia?
Okay,
kay kanira bang mga estudyante grabe kay mag-rally-rally, di ba? Ni paghuman gasugod na sila corruption sa ilang eskwelahan di ay. Di ba?
Their own miniature form of it.
Di ba?
Okay.
Ato lang isgutan ganahan lang ko maghisgot ani ba kay naam gini siya actual numbers to speak of about the prevalence of cheating. Like that study said in engineering exams, 86% of the students in this particular engineering state university class admitted to being a little dishonest. Right? So unsa may nadia Ralph before we move on.
Okay, one moment.
Kinsa man nga study unsa ni nga tuiga?
This was a study done in 2021 to determine the extent of academic cheating among pre-service teachers, future teachers in 3 areas: exams, assignments, and bibliographies.
Okay.
So participants, 90 pre-service teachers, mostly female, ages 18 to 19.
What's a pre-service teacher ba?
Pre-service teacher.
What's a pre-service teacher? Mura siguro siya guan? Mura siya estudyante pa? Unsa man ni?
Pre-service teacher is a student in a teacher preparation program who has not yet begun their professional teaching career. So
estudyante ni siya, mga estudyante.
Yeah, basically.
So importante ni siya nga study kaya mga maestro gud mismo gud ang gistudyuhan gud, di ba? So unsa may ilang mga key findings? Go ahead, break it down to us kuno palihog, Ralph.
Well, according to the key findings of the study, cheating was common but at a lesser extent overall.
Okay.
Strongest in bibliography-related tasks, using others' ideas as their own work, citing sources without fully reading them, and copy-pasting ideas as a foundation for writing.
Do we have numbers?
Yeah, one moment.
Unsa man ni si naman ni study si Glinda unsa man ni? In a study by Balbuena and Lamela, 67% of participants admitted to engaging in cheating during exams. A survey of 115 college faculty members in the Philippines found that 76 out of 83 respondents, or 76%, reported witnessing cheating incidents in their classes. So grabe na siya ka widespread and prevalent, di ba? I think the word might not be too much of a stretch. It is normalized.
Yeah.
Normal na ng cheating ba sa eskwelahan ba? Would that be too much of a stretch by Ralph to say cheating in school is normalized?
No, I definitely don't think it's a stretch to say that.
So grabe kayo siya ka normalized. So ngano man ibay? I know we mentioned earlier. Can we go back to that slide about ngano man nga manikas man gyud unsa man gyud ultimate goal? Ako bay, there are mga gitawag na to rationalizations ba, pananglitan. Kaning now that I'm a little bit older, muraga I have a newfound appreciation of language. Filipino, pero atong una bay maglagot jud ko ng Filipino bay. Iba nagka-colonial kita tanan, di ba? Murag I was one of my plans was to leave for the United States. So what jud ko'y plano nga, this was a long time ago because obviously I'm still here, right?
Yeah.
So what jud ko'y plano nga mokat-on og Pilipino. So Pilipino di jud ko magtuon, di jud ko mangupya jud ko. Kay like di ba? The point of going to school is to learn.
Yeah.
And the point of the learning is to be able to because I was a kid, an idiot, right?
Yeah.
So the point of learning is to be able to use it in real life, di ba? Oni wa man ni gamit. Wa man ni gamit na ko so ngano magtuon man ko ani I was that stubborn ba. So muna akong usas ako mga rationalization. Ana bitaw. So ikaw do you have those kinds of rationalizations ngano nga mo cheat ka nga useless maning information, I don't need to learn this. Nakay na unsay mo inyong mga rationalization diha mga kaigalaan ko na mo yung mga rationalizations i-share ko na namo kuno ngano man mo cheat ka be. 0999-8876-070. You can also join us on our Facebook page, Tops Media Center, on YouTube, Tops Media Center, also on TikTok. Nasan mi sa TikTok? Join us and share to us your rationalizations for cheating. Ralph?
You will for me as well. I can kind of relate to that. Pero not for Filipino, pero for math. Because at that point I had like so at some point at high school did that I literally lost interest in math. So I was like, yeah, I really don't care. I mean I pay attention in class or magyapon, but it's like gamay na lagay akong motivation to stick with it.
I mean, let's point kuno the camera to the school kuno, the educational system, even the teacher, di ba?
Yeah.
Ang pasabot na ng cheating, kung grabe kay ka-prevalent, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Ang pasabot niya na is, wa nakasabot inyong mga estudyante, di ba? Naglisod sila, wa sila ka nakasabot, o niya ng exam din ka. So, they will just, again, this is just a rationalization, they will just resort into cheating. Wala siya kasabot. So, do you think part of the blame can also be to the school, to the teacher, nga wala niya natarong explain ang topic, pag human ang mga estudyante niya nag-cheating na lang kay di gud madan ang exam din ka?
Oh yeah, that's a very good question to ask about it actually. I never gone really excuse me. I never really stopped to consider it. Pero yeah, no, like what's the role of the educational institution mismo in this culture of cheating that we have in the Philippines?
Right?
Yeah. I never really stopped to think about it, Jed. Pero
and you know, I've heard so many because I've had many reunions, right? Akong colleges and different universities that I went to, right? Unya maghisgot na miyog ka ng mga postmortem na ba? Unya naghisgot sila mga maestra ba oy nga magbabayad. Ana bitaw, magmaestra magbabayad ba? So usas na like, oh my god, man, like ang mga maestra mismo mo yung magbabayad na buang. So ang mga estudyante daghan kayo mga kwarta, mga kwartahan o pasar boros. Kanang magpa-terror pag ni siya nga teacher ba?
Oh, bro.
Terror siya. Mo ginabay grabe kay na sa ka misleading sa kaning tinuod ginabay. This has I have observed this one. Let's just kaning go off topic for a little bit. Kabantay jud gubay nga kanang mga stricto. Kanang mga terror, kanang mga mura og high and mighty kaayo mo nay mapalit. Mo nay mga perceived nimo nga kanang mga grabe kay integrity. Magpaingon-ingon nga, you know, I'm not gonna kaning accept any bribes or whatever, right? Mo na silang sayon kaayo kay front man na nila. Front gapakita ra na sila ba nga mura a kind of defense mechanism. Mo na nabantayan ako. This is just my own observation and I've seen that play out in real life. It's kind of weird, right? Anyway, so let's go back to the school, the educational system, the teachers themselves. Maybe they're not that good educators. Maybe that's why their students are cheating. And in the first place, kung gitudluan nato ang ato ang mga estudyante nga kamo ra may alaot niya nang mo cheat mo kay the point of going to school is to learn. Diba? Niya kung mag-cheat mo dili mo makasabot. Niya ang tubag po sa estudyante nga pilosopo pareho na ako. Dim ko kinanglan na agud ang akong kinanglan ran is kaning mag-DJ mo ko good. I'm just gonna be in radio, right? So I'm not gonna need any math, you know, like and I still hate math now, you know. So mo na rationalization pud sa mga estudyante, di ba? And some of them they're just in it for the diploma. So murag the value of the diploma ba? Murag ni Trump na sa value sa the actual purpose of learning, di ba? Nga di ko kasud og trabaho kung ako'y college diploma, di ba?
Yeah.
Murag lain kay pananaw sa mga tao nako kung ako'y college degree, di ba? I-look down ko sa society, di ba? So murag mas taas pa atong pananaw sa papel kontra sa learned nga person ba, di ba? Kaya you have to demonstrate masad good kaning imuhang pag-learn na, di ba?
Yeah.
And then murag man mauwaw man ta ana, di ba? Murag lisod man ang mo demonstrate nga mas bright pa mo ko nimo, wala ko diploma. Kakuan ka.
Yeah.
That's just our culture, right? But if you notice in some parts of the world, you hear a lot. I don't know if this is prevalent, and I'm not sure if this is a good example. You hear a lot of people who drop out of school to pursue their passions, diba? Kanang
Yeah.
mga, the Steve Jobs and the Bill Gates and all of that stuff. And I don't know if there are good examples, but ang college degree, mas importante, I think, nato diri sa Pilipinas more than maybe the United States. What do you think, Ralph?
Well, I think to counter the Bill Gates example, I think
Mm.
Einstein's a better example
Mm.
compared to Bill Gates.
Mm.
Kay, that guy was just he dropped out of school because school was too slow for him.
Opposite pod,
Oh.
opposite pod.
Oo.
Opposite pod nato kung
Oo.
kung kita di mo ta quit og school because it's too slow for us, right?
But yeah, besides that, what was the question again? Can you repeat?
No, I was just saying ba if that's a good example nga there are cultures nga dili kayo mo mind kung wa kay diploma, right? Pero diri sa Pilipinas, wa kay diploma, di juga ka trabaho, or has that changed ba? Because I know for a fact nga some BPOs this was before ang makatrabaho na ka even if you just have a high school diploma. I don't know what the requirements are now in school.
Yeah.
In work, I mean.
I think there was the argument that the whole another additional benefit of having senior high school is that you should be able to find work more easily post high school
Yeah.
compared sa una.
Di ba?
And I genuinely don't know if that's been the case, Jude, because from what I heard, kay dili man maraming gyapon like college educated or man gyapon ang gipangita.
So you still need a college diploma to get a legit job, right?
Or at the very least like a high paying entry job,
Oh,
something
so
like that.
at least medyo dako-dakog sweldo. Kung kay diploma, gamay ra kag sweldo lagi.
Yeah.
So muna kung masabot nga mas gabi kayo ka valuable ang diploma ba? Unya kung mahagbong sa ka kung pananglitan no. Ano na araw ni, let's just say graduation na ni human may exam, di ka kabawag yun unya. Mag-cheat ka. Ang option po nimo kung di ka mag-cheat pananglitan, hagbong ka. Di ka graduate, di ka kapaso, di ka katrabaho. It's a whole domino effect ba?
Yeah.
So probably for some people it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's the rationalization is worth it. Unsa pa may uban mga kuan ba mga balikon ko nito tanaw tong mga rationalizations why people cheat in school. And does that become like a habit nga mada nila even outside of school? Naman kay murag list aton sa man siya.
And I comment from Miss Glenda.
Okay,
Soiko, ano siya nga, ang senior high schools are still having problems getting a job in BPO. They still need a college diploma or at least a second year in college daw. So yeah, sakto lang ito. Na, from what I've heard, kay, it really hasn't been the case, Jude. Yung, senior high schools help with job opportunities. So yeah, so back sa atong kan, motivations for cheating. First and foremost, the fear of failure, and grade pressure, time pressure, and workload, teaching dissatisfaction, extrinsic motivation effect, and peer influence.
So, kung na-normalize na ni siya, kung dili ka mo cheat, number one, basta kay mura og weird, di ba? Or number two, basig maglagot ang mga tayo, bully ka kay anong buang man si si Ralph di magpakopya. 'Di ba? Kung na-normalize ba?
Oo.
'Di ba? And kinsa masay siguro nabay mga nabantay ni mga my daughter is one of those nga masuko gyud kung mag-cheating ba?
Yeah.
But did you notice that are there people like that in school gyapon ang mura sila musumbong?
Dili in my experience
more i-rat out kanila kay bawo sila nga cheating ka and so on.
Dili in my experience kay in the high school I went to kay naay gyapon masuko sa cheating pero like in certain cases lang kay nakoy isa ka kaila nga schoolmate nako nga kaan nasuko yung mga classmates niya kay sige ra daw siya pangupya. And kuan daw kato kay naputong mga what do you call this? Higher section, lower section things gani. Sa public school na mo and I think from grade 8 nakasaka siya og higher nga section to sa grade 9 kay sige ra daw siya pangopya. Unya daghay na ulit na daw niya tungod ana, so di na sila magpakopya niya. So specifically siya ra ang dili nila tugtan nga.
You know, I overheard somebody once say, this is a sports reference, huh? Somebody once said, I just forgot who. Ningon siya nga, if you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough. This is in sports, huh? This is in sports. Like, kamantay ka ng NBA panalitan, no? NBA mo. Kanang mo flop.
Mo-flop
ka, di ba? Kanang ituod ka, patumba-tumba ka. That's cheating, right? Right? It is cheating, right? So, nagaingon sila nga, you're not trying hard enough if you're not cheating. Meaning, kanang mag-acting-acting, kanang magbagot-but. Mo tayo foul, klaro kayo sa review nga na foul good. Di ba? So, that's kind of bluffing. That's cheating, right? So, is it more acceptable in other endeavors like sports compared to, let's just say, school? Although an argument can be made, it's acceptable in most schools because it's very prevalent, di ba? But in sports, pananglitan, kumo cheat ka to win.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that quote? If you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough.
I don't think it's necessarily more accepted in sports because
Kanang flopping.
Yeah, if you look at like fan backlash, kay they really fan, what do you call this? Ang ilang comments, kay they really do not like flopping.
Diba, it's a violation now, diba?
Yeah, it can be a technical violation, pero I think it's still barely being called.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really recall the last time I heard.
I remember that. I think I remember that in the last NBA season na penalize ang Osaka player because of flopping. I think.
Pero there was a lot of flopping. There was still a lot of flopping in the NBA last season.
But is that cheating or is that just good acting?
Yeah.
Because it's a game, right?
Yeah.
It's a game. So more if you think about it as a game, then acting is not cheating, I think. Or is it still cheating?
No, personally, I'd still consider it cheating.
Okay.
I still remember a lot of people were making fun of our MVP.
Si LeBron James?
No, NBA MVP, si Shea.
Si Shea,
Gilgeous-Alexander.
Nga naman.
Kay
Dramaturgo kay siya tanan. Sige siya flop-flop.
Yeah, every time mo drive siya, kay flail niya yung arms like, siya, and then a lot of people were calling him a free throw merchant.
Deceiving kayo, mura og foul permi kay
foul baiting kayo.
Foul baiting kayo.
Oh.
So that to you is cheating.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's acceptable, right? I mean, acceptable form of cheating in the sense that he's the MVP. You know, he got rewarded, millions of dollars via a contract, right?
Yeah.
So society, at least in the world of sports, in this case basketball, NBA, rewards cheating, di ba? Because
I guess,
because if you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough, kuno, according to this quote from an athlete, right?
Yeah,
so could it be nga double standard ba in different areas of life, more acceptable ang cheating, and in other aspects of life dili?
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. Nga,
so go ahead, continue.
Yeah, in certain aspects, in certain areas siguro of life, or certain fields, mas acceptable ang cheating compared to others. But I think primarily with especially with the academic institutions, kay it should be looked down upon because the whole point of it is to learn and to teach students as well kanang good values, moral integrity, and all that. So if dili na siya properly gina-enforce, the students are just going to think about cutting corners all the time, and mahimo na habit nila going into adulthood.
So isn't AI the ultimate cheating machine? What I'm saying is, like, pananglitan kanang calculator, di ba, na may panahon niya itong una nga Oh, until now I think it's still true, right? In to some extent nga dili ka kanang mahimo magdaog calculator, di ba? Sa math problems ba?
Yeah, yeah.
Kinumdum ko ano tuna nga kinahanglan imong yung show the solution. Show the solution good.
Yeah, yeah.
Matod pa sa akong teacher so my goodness. Lisod na ba kay nakopyahong solution, di ba? Kay ta complicated kay ba, di ba?
Yeah, lagi.
So unya cheating kung magdaog og calculator, di ba?
Oh, pero na may uban nga mo require sila nga maggamit kag calculator.
Di, pero nauban nga dili po, di ba?
Yeah.
And the reason for that is you have to be able to get to the answer yourself, dili by a machine, di ba? So ang akong pangutana ni Ana is atong una cheating man ang magdaog calculator. Anya karon nag-ingon ka nga dili na pwede na magdaog calculator, di ba? So ang concept di ay ang word di ay nga cheating in the academic parlance is evolving. Ato na cheating man na karon dili na. Nya atong una kaning cheating na og dili ka mosuwat sa imong thesis, but karon in some schools they're allowing some students to use AI to help them
finish
things, di ba? So dili na po na cheating na po. There was a time nga grabe kay ka cheating karon dili na po ana bitaw. So mag-usab din ang definition of what constitutes cheating in school.
Yeah, I think it comes with technological nga advancements. Pero I think with regards sa katong calculator, like you said, it's just a matter of like the level of math nga naa ka. Kay naay uban nga dili jud sila mosugot nga mogamit kag calculator kay they want to see how you solve the math equation. Like dapat mapakita nimo imong solution lang daw. Pero naay uban nga dili na necessary ipakita ang solution kay diretso na siya. So I think for the calculator, it's a matter of that. Pero for the matter of AI, it's really about kanang technological advancement. How technology changes things around us, and that unfortunately includes the academic world and what is and what isn't considered
cheating,
honest way of tackling your tasks. Okay, in a way, at the end of the day, I think it's about honesty and dishonesty sa kaning cheating.
Mo lagi so kung mag-usab-usab ang definition unsay honest or dishonest or cheating or dili, ikaw sad maglibog sa ka kung usa ka estudyante, di ba? Kana let's go back to the calculator story. Naan mo calculator ba? Somebody invented a calculator, right?
Yeah.
Onya, where do you live nga there's no calculator, di ba? So pasabot niya na nag-andam lang ka, giandam nimo ang bata para igadako niya kung muhot na ng baterya ang calculator, kibaw siya mo get to the solution, to the answer. Is that what you're preparing the child for? Or number 2, kung ato siya sa kalugar nga wala giibinto ang calculator, way baligya ang calculator, then he has to figure out by himself and find the solution. Is that what you're preparing the child for? Because we live in a world that has calculators, right? So why do I need to show you the solution when this machine already figured it out? So what we need to do is to teach students to tackle problems that have not been solved yet. Ana bitaw mo man mentality sa mga uban nga mga nasod. I think their educational system is about asking the students to solve problems that have not been solved yet. Ang pasabot niya na is kung ang solution sa usa ka mathematical problem naara sa calculator, masolbad na without showing the so that consider that problem solved. You can already do that by just pressing buttons. So pangita kang mathematical problem siguro nga wala pa na solve siguro mo na pasabot sa ilang mentality bang pasabot nila na use the technologies of your time to the fullest and solve problems that have not been solved. Think of thoughts that have not been thought. Ask questions that have not been asked. Mo na uban mentality sa uban nga mga educational systems.
Okay, I think that's very interesting. Pero I think that's a mindset that ought to be saved for higher education, like tertiary education.
Mm.
Kay at that point, it's all a matter of the students themselves choosing what topics they want to pursue further,
Mm-mm.
and what they want to learn further.
Mm.
Kay when it comes to like high school and elementary level, of course you have to teach them the basics before
Mm.
you just throw them towards kind of unsolved problems.
Mm.
They still need the building blocks for it
Mm.
all.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's necessarily the solution. Nga kan we build up this desire for them to solve
when you say
something that hasn't been solved.
building blocks, what do you mean? What do you mean building blocks?
Like addition, subtraction,
Okay.
multiplication,
Okay.
and division.
Mm.
The
basics.
the basics
Oh,
basically.
oh.
Mo nang pasabot nako.
So kung pananglitan yung 1 plus 1 equals 2,
Yeah.
makaibaw sila nganong
Why that's the case?
why
Oh.
1 plus 1 equals 2.
Yeah,
Right?
basically.
So that's primary education pa man, di ba?
Mm-mm.
So at what level do you let technology take over?
Well, for me,
Kanang pi pananglitan, kanang pi squared or whatever, right? Like do I need to solve that? No, what's a pi? What does that mean? I still don't know what a pi is. Is that about kaning fruit pie or apple pie? Unsa man ang
yeah,
pie?
it's the
What's a pie of something? If I know the pie of something, what does that mean?
it's the
Sa mukha eh.
circumference. Ako madumduman kay kan is it's mathematical measurement of the
The
circumference
of
of a circle. Ito? Kalimot ko. I forgot.
Oh
Math
my
is not my strong
Yeah,
suit.
he just graduated.
Yeah.
He just graduated
Communications.
like last year, right?
Oh.
Akong math, wala na good.
Oh,
I don't.
wala naman pud may math to.
I don't even know 1 plus 1 anymore, man.
Yeah.
So at what point do you relinquish the learning to the machine, to give it to the machine, and then ask the student to solve unsolved problems and think of
I think
unthought thoughts?
I would
Unsa
think
mga level ka of education?
I would think
Tertiary?
kan
Meaning to say college na?
yeah, college and above.
Okay.
College and above nga level of education. Kay when it comes to primary and secondary education, kay ang in primary they need to build up not just the basics pero ang kanang your desire to learn.
Wait,
I
pero
think that's the most important thing. Wala kayo na tackle sa atong education
your
system.
desire, is that your desire to learn?
Yeah.
What does desire have to do with learning? What do you mean?
Well, kan man.
I mean, like I didn't desire to go to school, but I had to because number one, my parents put me to it, and number two, because I couldn't. You couldn't get a job if you didn't have a diploma.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Kana. Pero it feels more like
There was no desire.
yeah, it feels more. Kaya nga, it feels more like you're pressured to do something.
Correct.
To
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
And dili kay siya motivating gani.
Correct. Oh.
Nga it doesn't really fill you with the want to learn. And I think mo siguro nang failing sa atong, I don't know if it's just on the education system, maybe I think it also has to do in part sa how we raise our kids in the home. Sad nga it really feels like there's not a lot of kids grow up with the desire to learn.
That's Zing Gio. Top of the morning to you. A lot of people are cheaters, and
Not only
in
at
school, in sports, industry, and also in this thing called life, like in relationships, in friendship, and specifically in ourselves.
In ourselves.
Yeah,
Ito yung
so
sabot niya, in ourselves.
We cheat ourselves. I think that's what it means, right? So
Okay.
yeah, you're right. I actually wanted to go there because kanang eskwelahan, that's the building blocks, right? Like you said, the beginning, right? And does that mean when you cheat in school, grabe kay ka normalize, does that mean that you become a cheater in life? Does that mean that you become a corrupt government official? Does that mean that you are a cheater in life, right? And I think that's an important more conversation to have, right? Because if cheating is so prevalent in school, I think we're raising corrupt people. Am I right? Is that too simplistic? Bye-bye. Tanahan mo.
Well, I think there's a level of truth to it.
Okay.
Kay Konman, really what we're doing is we're building up behavior
Okay.
sa kani. with this culture of cheating and manormalize sa ilaha nga kon it's all right to cut corners. It's all right to do things that are considered dishonest para lang sa akong benepisyo. So I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if a lot of ang kanang mga corrupt politicians na to karon were very dishonest students.
Yeah, unsa ma incentive diay? Unsa ma incentive to be honest, to not to cheat in school? Unsa ma incentive na niya? Like from the beginning, we talked about this. We brought it up, and I don't think that's enough, right? Nag-ingon ta nga, the purpose of learning, the purpose of going to school is to learn.
Yeah.
And what's the purpose of learning? Knowledge for knowledge's sake.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, it's beautiful to know something. You don't have to have a purpose. You don't have to be very all utilitarian on it, right? Just to know, like a fun fact. Did you know that this and that? It's fun to know, right? There are a lot of things that we know nga way gamit. Way gamit, di ba?
Yeah.
I can mention to you a lot of things that I know that has no use, right? So, but that I don't think that's enough. Is that enough incentive to be honest in school, to not to cheat in school?
Yeah. It's kind of hard for me to identify even the incentive there mismo. Kay just the desire to learn. I don't think that's enough of an incentive necessarily to being honest. Pero how do we find ways to reward honesty? Like do you know of any kanang mga existing nga structures that reward specifically academic honesty?
I don't know, man. I never saw it in school.
Yeah, I don't know of anyone of anything said. No, wala mo pop up sa akong mind necessarily.
Most sa digi, di ba? Usahay sad bay, di ba? Kung ang usa ka exam hagbong tanan pananglitan, di ba? They usually the academia the institution blames the teacher on that. Di ba? Kaya nga nung dili ka may motudlo di ay kaya nga hagbong man imong mga estudyante. Could it be nga complicit po da mga teachers nga na ay mga ubang mga estudyante nga mo-cheat para dili sila ingnon nga mga animong maestraha kayo dili man makat-on imong mga estudyante, right? It's possible, right? It's possible. Nga basi complicit po sila, di ba?
Yeah, definitely. Katong gi-mention nako gay na nga sa among sa time sa high school nako kay nato isa ka section jud nga in the middle of the exam magtanaw na lag cellphone ang maestra or sa ilang laptop kaya ang mga estudyante na tuwa na dito nagbalhin na ng mga lingkuranan nagpuli-puli ra sila kuha og mga answers sa ilang mga kaubanan. It's like there is a certain I guess case to case nga there are certain teachers nga pasagdan na lang nila as long as makapasar. Again, we talked about sports, diba? And the quote that I said earlier is, if you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough, right? Yeah.
Could it be nga some people look at going to school, look at life as a kind of game? Murag gamify nila ba nga murag if you don't do this, or you do that, like murag they feel like life is a game and you need to play it, or life is a dance and you need to dance, and if you don't know the steps, then you're gonna fall, right? So do you think to a certain extent that's what people's mentalities are starting in school nga, like
game,
it's like a game ba nga, like hey, diba? Even the word cheat, diba? In games,
it can be used in games too,
diba? It is a word that has a different meaning na, diba? So can you explain to older people what does a cheat in a game actually mean?
Well, cheating in video games is usually the addition of additional software to make the video game easier for you. Like for example, in GTA,
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
okay.
Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
This is a video game that actually comes with its own built-in cheats.
Okay. Built-in cheat.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, kay
Samuka.
nasalay codes in code in the video game nga pwede nimo i-type nga hatagan ka og kanang cheat nga buff. Nga basically it will help make you stronger in some ways. But,
Okay.
probably if for GTA San Andreas kay ang ako madumduman nga cheat code ang isa kay Hesoyam.
So nga naman ba, nga naman instead of making the game a little bit easier, why do you need a cheat? You know what I mean? Why make the game so impossibly difficult that you need a cheat? What's the origin of a cheat in a game?
I don't know about the origin, like the very first cheat.
Why don't you just make the game easy to play, right?
I think it's it's oh wait, I think there was, I think it was like the up down left right A B. I think that was like the first code nga consider siya cheat or secret buff in the game.
Correct, diba? So kaning cheat,
Uh-uh.
it's usually is it usually the game maker mismo naghimo ng cheat?
Sometimes.
Or is it like a gamer mismo nga has cracked the code and has showed you how to game the system?
Yeah, there are cases nga it's the game developers themselves that kind of put it in the game as like a secret nga for you to discover. And there are some that, like in the case of GTA, that put it in the game because the video game is about, being a criminal, so why not give the...
But a cheat in a video game is not necessary. You don't have to use the cheat, right?
Yeah, you don't really have to.
So mura kag kung dili ka mo cheat, di ka mo gamit og cheat, you're a loser, right? You don't know how to play the game, right? Am I right?
Yeah, a lot of people would consider you a loser, and
okay.
In fact, it's considered one of the worst offenses you can do, especially sa kaning mga online games.
Okay.
Where you're interacting with other players, you're playing against other people.
Okay.
There are like common cheats, like I don't know if familiar ka sa Crossfire.
I'm familiar with the game, but I don't know.
Crossfire, CS:GO, kaning mga first-person shooter games. There are specific cheats for these games nga pwede nimo makit-an ang imong mga kalaban through walls, and you can shoot them through walls.
So kanang gihisgot nimo nga cheat. Did that exist before? Wala.
Before? What do you mean?
What I mean by in that particular game ba? Could you see through walls?
No, definitely not. You couldn't do that before. It was something people developed. Third party system.
So it was not the game maker mismo.
Yeah.
Og the ability to see through walls. It was a cheat.
Yeah.
Right? So mo lagi, you're a loser if you don't know these things, right? Right? So could it being our definition, our I dare say our morals have shifted, and cheating in school is not as bad as most people think it is?
Well, I don't know about shifted because based sa katong study nga gisite ni Miss Glenda Suico Gaina, it was a 2005 study where 67% of participants admitted to engaging in cheating during exams.
Okay.
I wouldn't say our perspectives on cheating have shifted. If anything, it feels like it's stayed the same. Just based off of that
but
study.
It's just more people are doing it, right?
More people are
so
doing
mo
it.
lagi ba, back to the question ba, why don't you just make the game easier so that they won't have to use the cheat? So what is that?
I think for...
Or why don't you make the exam easier so people don't have to cheat and it's easier, right? So what is
for
that?
The case of video games, it's a matter of appealing to people who want to play it on hard mode, basically. That they want the difficulty high because
ganahan
sila sa challenge.
Ganahan sila maglisod-lisod onya mogamit og cheat.
No, not dili. Naiuban jud na jud sila mogamit og cheat.
Okay.
They want to play the game
so,
in the hardest difficulty
the
possible.
most possibly difficult way to play the game, right? So they don't need the quote unquote
cheats. Yeah, they don't.
Napoy uban nga mogamit gyud ng cheats, di ba? Kanang mga cheats, is that easy to acquire? Depending on what game, right? Do you pay for it?
I think uban you have to pay somebody for it, pero I think it's largely being circulated in the web. So you can download it lang.
So in case you're wondering what we're talking about here, this is Jiggy Juice and Rod Basadmi is Rolf Chavez. This is Top of the Morning. Atong topic karong buntaga, are we all cheaters? Do we all cheat in school? And there's a statistic that's so glaring. 86% of engineering students in this particular state university somehow one way or another, one form or another cheated, right? Or was being dishonest, right?
Yeah.
So does that spill over, and we're all complaining about this whole corruption in government, right?
Yeah.
Is it could it be that we're just because we're raising and educating cheaters in the first place?
Yeah, I can definitely see that as like the starting point.
Yeah. So how do we solve this?
Well,
The rationalizations for cheating are pretty solid.
yeah,
I don't need Filipino.
yeah,
I don't need to learn Filipino. That was my thinking before,
yeah, like
and all of that
I
stuff.
don't need to learn math. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be using that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Oh,
right.
ina na.
So saan man natin ba?
Well, I think katulagi as we kind of brought up earlier, what are the incentives for honesty?
mm,
And it really feels like nga
hagbong ka.
wala
Hagbong ka bangaan mo. Di ba? Di ka
Pero,
di, di
yeah,
ka di ka graduate, may trabaho, di ba?
yeah, per
Yeah,
those are,
one more year of school kung hagbong ka, di ba?
yeah, kato kay
Madelay ka.
those are already incentives to cheat na
Oh.
ang may nana. So it's
Oh.
all about like putting in incentives for honesty, I think. Kana first and foremost, or kan like when we're building up the youth, especially sa primary education, we
Mm.
for parents and teachers, this is a responsibility that can fall to them. Nga, when you're raising your children, raise them jud with the drive to learn. And it dili siya sayon buhaton, pero I think uh just based off of my experience, kay daghan na kay mga videos online about like doing just that.
But just like in the game, why don't you just make school a little easier,
Mm.
right? Ang nakakuan man god is, 'di ba, most colleges ang ultimate goal yun nila is mo top og board exams, 'di ba?
Mm.
Kanan na mga board
Yeah.
board exams nga
Courses.
courses, 'di ba?
Mm.
So ultimately, kung hanaon gyud mo, I think I can really see that. Is that ultimately mo na goal sa education nimo sa college, 'di ba? Nga to top the board exams, right? Murag
Mm. Winner takes all.
winner takes all by either you pass or not, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So ultimately, it's really a numbers game, 'di ba?
Yeah. And probably that's why a lot of
And
students feel
and
fun.
if you want to look for an equivalent of a quote unquote cheat in 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 uh, in the educational system, in school, in education, is kanang pananglitan. Just like what my daughter's teacher did, katong nagitudluan sila og different psychological conditions ba.
Mm.
Instead of remembering the definitions, they were asked to remember songs from Celine Dion.
Mm.
Ano bitaw? So kato
Yeah.
ba? So sayo na lang kay kantahon na lang nila ba, so it's easier to remember.
Mm.
So that's kind of a cheat, right?
I don't know about cheat.
Equivalent, not cheat in the school sense, but in the
Life hacks.
video
Or-
game sense ba?
Yeah. More siya kan kanang life hacks lagi.
Life hack siya ba, right?
Oo.
Right? So that you can remember things, di ba?
Yeah.
But that's not cheating. It's just a life hack
Yeah. It's just what do you call this? Memorization
technique siya.
technique.
Mm.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't consider it cheating.
Yeah.
But it's just a
I
technique.
I agree with you. Yeah. Maing buntag ni mo diha Yoa Eliona og Anlin Magno Avira. Atong gisgutan karong buntaga is are we all cheaters? Do we all cheat in schools? Are we raising corrupt
Are we raising the future corrupt politicians?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I think it's important that we have this discussion, right? Because
yeah.
just like cheating in school, which has become normalized in many ways, I think corruption has become normalized too, right?
Yeah, it
And
definitely has.
that's why it persists. And should we clamp down on cheating in school? Does that mean it'll hopefully minimize or reduce corruption? I don't know, man. What do you think?
Well, I think it can help.
Mm.
Kay it's the building blocks of your character man jud ang ma-form there as a school pod.
Mm.
So yeah, I think it would help if we clamp down harder on cheating, and at the same time we need to come up jud with an incentive for honesty. And I don't wala koy mahuna-huna as of this moment unsa jud ang unsaon na nato pag-incentivize. Pero I think that should be the challenge, Jude, for the education
How about you guys?
system.
Do you have any ideas? What are the incentives for honesty?
Or what can we make an incentive for honesty?
As far as the school is concerned, right?
Mm-mm.
Educational, the academia is concerned. What are the incentives, right? For honesty. Send us your thoughts 0999-887-6070. We are on YouTube, Tops Media Center, on TikTok, Tops Media Center, also on Facebook, Tops Media Center. Mo na ato ang account 105.1 TMC or Tops Media Center. Ato ang takna karon 29 minutos nang milabay sa alas 11. Atong gisgutan karong buntaga is cheating in school. Show me the influence of context and environment. Kaning unsa man is that a study? Faculty and institutional responses. Unsa man ang gipangbuhat sa academia to curb the cheating epidemic?
Well, this is more what's been happening in the environment of academia that's encouraged cheating rather.
Oy,
according to this
Manong-
DLSUD thesis.
so nag-encourage na nun, imbis i-discourage.
Yeah, na-encourage nun siya.
What is this? Is this a study?
Yeah, in a DLSUD thesis.
Lasal
from
na siya, Lasal.
2014, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
High school students cheated more when allowed to choose their own seats, especially if extrinsically motivated.
Mm.
And yeah, specializations differ. Pre-service teachers admitted to copying, citing sources that they hadn't read, and borrowing ideas without credit. Cheating varied by specialization and year level. And then cultural and peer norms. In Catholic high schools, what classmates tolerated shaped what behavior students defined as dishonest. Katulaging kan, gaya nga na to, gaya ng overhelping sa kaning mga outputs nila. Okay, they don't consider that as cheating daw.
So kaning AI karon, unsa naman nito pag-define ang cheating ni Anibe? Pananglitan, even if it's plagiarism nga we're trying to avoid, right? Na may mga naampo yung AI nga not to get caught using AI apps, di ba?
There's AI paragraph rephrasing tools and all that.
Correct. Yeah. So that's going to be more difficult.
Yeah,
and it'll be more sinister na kaya you don't even know. People don't even know.
Yeah, and the craziest part is the current tools that exist to try to scan for AI influence sa imong mga written tasks. They're not very accurate. Kay kataon na kayo kay even before like ChatGPT was a big thing, we already had plagiarism checkers in academia, and they were super inaccurate. Kay pati imong pangan ma-flag siya as plagiarism.
Oh wow. So na may uban pod gali nga mapasanginlan nga kuan nga kaning cheat maski wala, di ba? Unsa man gini Zing dia? Go ahead.
Well, according to Ziying Ji sa atong YouTube live, din siya at its core, cheating is about seeking shortcuts without earning the result fairly, whether it's grades, trophies, love, trust, or self-respect.
So it's about what? It's about
seeking shortcuts without earning the results fairly.
And isn't that human nature nga ganahan gitag sayon, ganahan ta og mga tapulan gyud ta, di ba?
Yeah.
We were talking about that I think that's really like a kind of a core
human trait
ba?
Yeah.
And I think also importante, you mentioned earlier katong passion ba? Kung ganahan ka makat-on sa kabutang, dili siguro ka ganahan mag-shortcut. In fact, ganahan ka madugay, di ba?
Yeah.
So I think it's really about matching also, di ba? Matching your desires, your passions, unsa imong ganahan nga tun-an para dili ka ganahan mag-shortcut kay kapuyan makag usa ka butang nga tan-aw nimo di ka ganahan, tan-aw nimo way gamit, di ba?
Yeah.
So karang matching part, that's also another difficult task, di ba? Matching what you want. In fact,
what we want can change.
It's also very inaccurate, di ba?
Yeah.
di ba na may mga certain exams nga to match you with a course, di ba kanang humanities, kanang sciences, di ba?
Yeah, there's also like the katong scientific nga personality
Correct.
testing.
Yeah, yeah.
Sa to? INTP?
So you took that, right?
I did, but I forgot my result.
So was it was that valuable to you? Was that important to you?
No, I almost immediately forgot what the result was.
So it wasn't that important.
Yeah, no.
Di ba, ningin po sila nga follow your heart, di ba?
Oo.
Nga sunda lang imo sa ganahan nimo nga tun-an nimo, di ba? But some people, a lot of people don't know what they want in life, right?
Yeah, exactly. Some people like reach all the way until
And-
mahuman na lang sila sa college and they don't even know what they want yet.
They don't know what they want. So
Yeah.
that's really difficult, right?
Yeah, very. Okay. I guess it really goes back to us being lazy, podkay.
Mm.
We didn't even put the time to think deeply about what we wanted. And maybe part of it being laziness is that we didn't give ourselves a time frame gani. Nga dapat ma-figure out na nako by this point in time.
Which brings me to probably another podcast topic, but I want
Which is?
I want to talk about it just kaning slight or just a few moments ba.
Snippet lang.
Nganong lazy mo tabay?
Oh.
Nganong lazy mo? What else do we need to do? Like nganong kapuya niyo? Somebody buhaton nimo day.
Like,
ganahan ka matog unsa man. Like why are we lazy? Why do we seek the easy way out? Why do we want shortcuts?
A very good question to ask, and I don't have any thoughts on
Are
that.
are we missing the point of life?
The point of life.
Yeah.
Missing the point. Of
Nga,
life.
Isn't life good because it's hard?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I can definitely agree with that. Life is beautiful because it's so short, and life is fulfilling because of how difficult life is.
Yeah, because it was easy. Would it be worth it?
That's a good question. For a lot of people, shallower kind of existence and empty. Dili kay siya fulfilling.
Or maybe we're in a bubble.
maybe.
Here we go again with the bubble, right?
Yeah, maybe because
according
to Miss Glenda, we all basically want everything handed to us in a silver platter daw.
Ang pangutana ana why?
Lagi
Ngano man, di ba? Isn't the struggle the point of it all?
Yeah,
Right?
it should be at the very least.
We were talking about it with a bunch of parents a few years ago, but naghisgot ko nga one of the gifts that you can give your children is the gift of nothing. Meaning to say nga they have something to strive for ba. They have something to work for. You know, you don't. If you give them everything, then what's the point?
Yeah, mas-spoiled na yun sila.
Mas-spoiled na sila, di ba?
Oo.
And then so I've got daddy to figure this out, right?
I have daddy my unlimited ATM.
Yeah, di ba? So that's one of the best gifts that you can give, the gift of nothing, right?
Yeah, that's
kind of reminds me of the movie The Game. I don't know if you remember that movie. Katong si Michael Douglas nga. It was his birthday. He was like a millionaire. Gato kay siya tanan. He has everything, and it was his birthday. And then one of the characters of the movie, I forgot his name. Nangutana siya. He was just talking to himself. What do you give a guy who has everything? And then there was a light bulb moment, and then give him nothing. And then what it meant was what that person meant was make him feel what it feels like to have nothing. So he hired a company whose job is to exactly give that kind of gift.
Okay.
And what the company did was it made him feel that he lost his house, his family, everything. So he made him the company made him feel that he had nothing. The game made him feel that he had nothing. Then the title of the movie is The Game. So at the end of the movie, nagpakita sila ang the person who gave the gift and the celebrant, and he just told him that this is a gift. This is a gift I'm giving to you. I'm giving you the gift of knowing how it feels like to have nothing. It's a beautiful movie, and I think
Oh, okay.
at the end of the day, having something to strive for. Like it's easy for us to say, but I mean, like we're not exact. You know, I'm both of us. I don't know if this is true to you, but it's certainly true to me. We're both living painfully middle class lives, right? Right? And you know, the struggle is real, right?
Yeah,
The
it is.
the uncertainty is real, and all of that stuff. But it's manageable. I mean, like, you know, I'm not losing my mind yet.
Mm.
I'm still here, trying to piece together sentences, and I sound like a slightly coherent human being, di ba?
Oo.
I haven't lost my mind yet.
Yeah.
At least I think. I don't know what you guys think. So what I'm saying ba is, sa ato ang mga kalisod, kaya pa man, di ba?
Mm.
Pero what akibaw sa unsay gipang antos sa uban sad ba? I mean, like, what akibaw? Maybe there are worse. I'm sure. I'm not a maybe. I'm sure there are people who are worse off than us, 100%, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we probably are just talking from our middle class bubbles.
Yeah. Or whatever whatever your
Struggles that
current
we have, di ba?
struggles we have, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe struggling is good to a certain extent.
Mm-mm.
Fighting for something is good to a certain extent, but di ba? Like maybe there's a time nga it paralyzes you, it
Yeah.
debilitates you, and it kills you. Maybe even.
Definitely. I can definitely agree with
Yeah. Naabot na ba? We're just talking about cheating in school, right?
that.
Or I think ultimately, Magud, what we are trying to do is trying to figure out why we do that in the first place and why we want our lives to be easy.
Yeah.
And school is one of those places nga mura kag you're given quote unquote made up difficulties, di ba? Di ba? At una
Lagi.
pagkabata nimo, di ba? You know, hilak na kay gatas, di ba? Hilak lang ka na ilisa nimo diaper, di ba?
Yeah,
Sayon
lagi.
kay imong kinabuhi. So ganahan we gotta give a little adversity to this life, man. So put him to school. Di ba? Di ba? Tagaig mga exam. Mura pag
Yeah.
made up, mura gihimo-himo nga kalisod ba, di ba?
Oh, lagi.
Andamon ka sa kalisod
Sa
sa
kinabuhi.
kinabuhi.
Mm.
Now, panlita, no? Ang ang kalibutan karon kung prevalent kay ng cheating, kung ikaw di ka kibaw di ka maro, di ka street smart, di ka kibaw sa pag maniubra, pildi ka sa in the game of life, di ba?
Yeah.
Kaya daghan man ang mga cheater, di ba?
Yeah, true.
Di ba? So pildi ka sa kinabuhi. So you have to know these things.
Mm.
Di ba? And somebody once said nga, to catch a crocodile, you need a crocodile.
Mm.
Right? I guess this also probably works for government. Kung ganahan ka makadakop og buaya, ngita kag buaya, kay dili man sila kibawon sa pagdakop kay mga maro naman kay nistanan.
Lagi.
I don't know. Is there some truth to that?
Oh, well, given the fact nga nag-name drop na ang mga kontraktor ug mga politiko nga kan.
Oh.
So, yeah, to an extent.
Yeah,
Di ba si tinuod today?
Mo na siya dili nakabawon kung imong ipadari to kay Ilipante.
Oh.
Ha? Kanon nas buaya, di
Oh,
ba?
lagi. Dapat buaya ra jud mo mang dakop og
So mo
buaya.
nang pasabot ba nga I think I don't know on saon na sa sa school environment ba, because that's what we're talking about here, cheating in school, di ba nga
Yeah.
nga aware ka nga naay kangilad sa kalibutan and you're smart to it, di ba?
Yeah. Kanang
Street smart ka ba?
yeah, at the very least ba nga dili ka ignorante sa unsay ginabuhat nila.
Mm.
Something like that.
Kaya kung grabe kay ka-ideal, pananglitan, you know,
Mm.
you raise the perfect student, right? Nga dili gid mo cheat and all of that stuff. Way kalibutan, doesn't even oblivious to all the cheating in school. More sa straight student gid ba?
Yeah.
Ibutang na nimo sa real life, basig mamatay na siya, oy. He will not succeed, right? What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think nga kan if
Is there a place for him to succeed or her to succeed? Kung grabe na kay siya ka let's just say bookish, 'di ba? Mo lang bookish, 'di ba? Madili sila kaning they're not very familiar with applications. They're not familiar with the ways of the world, 'di ba?
Oh yeah. Probably
Maglisod yung function, 'di ba?
yeah, maglisod yung function because in I think in every industry kan you need to be connected to the greater society in one way or another. Kay even if umadto ka sa I was thinking initially nga ang academic setting would probably be best kay dira jud mo gawas ang imong book smarts, pero you still need to be able to apply everything pod into the real world sa academic setting. So maglisod gyapon ka didto.
I know there are a lot of examples. I don't know if you agree with me, ani Ralph.
Mm.
Kadaghanan sa mga bright sa amuang klase sa high school ug sa college even are not very successful in life. They're underachieving ba? Kanang mga cum laude, kanang dili bright sila pero they achieve a certain kind of success, but to us, to our eyes, they're still underachieving because they're like the smartest of all an entire batch, diba?
Yeah.
So you would think automatically that they should be the most successful,
Yeah.
diba? But they're not.
Sometimes, yeah.
Most of the time, in my case, in my observation, they're probably in the top 100 or top 10 or top 20, but not number 1 or number 2 where they should be in my mind.
Okay.
But that's just me. And of course, a lot of factors are involved here, like luck and people
Yeah.
and so on and so forth.
Yeah, opportunities that get that are presented to you.
Yeah,
and all
correct.
that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, that doesn't automatically mean
Successful. ka.
you achieve the same success you had in school, in the real world.
Yeah. In the working world.
No.
Kaya I've always like question ang kanang pag-differentiate yan nila sa academic life o sa working life kay they always like to say it, oh well, that's just school, this is the real world. It's like, well, what we're doing not real in school?
I don't know, man. Do we have any listeners or viewers on TikTok? Can you mention them and say hi to them? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, of course. Hello guys, mga ni Agi sa atong TikTok live na si Lian G, Rubella Ruiz Baranga, Boss Gen 29,
Janet
Dustin.
Salgado, Janet Salgados, naminaw na to or nitanaw na to sa ato ang Facebook. Daghang salamat. Anlin Magno Avira, daghang salamat, ma'am. Go ahead.
Napod si Dustin the Great, Trix Tai, Jiri, Daibona, Ayesha 2330, Sean Neutron, Apyong, Harold James Gokong, Escape TV, Dodoy, Angie Bear, Larak, Yours Mine, Alexander Season, Lenyo 07, Ken Womark Tiopis, Mini, Tesay 13, Mirna Cabanes, Mary Joy Ubanos, Ash Disalo,
Daghang salamat,
and John Thomas.
Daghang salamat sa atong mga TikTokers nga nananaw na to sa atong TikTok, Tops Media Center. Mo ba natong pangan sa atong TikTok, Tops Media Center, or
Yes.
105.1?
Tops Media Center. Sa atong Facebook kay 105.1, TMC 105.1.
So I think it has to be a collaboration between the academia mismo, di ba? And the students also, di ba? And maybe the business sector also. I think that's what it usually is, right? Magsabot sila ba saan man nga atong ma-minimize ang ato ang cheating in school, di ba? And I think kaning grabe ra jud kayo ang incentives for cheating ba?
Yeah.
Diba? Kay ultimately dako jud ka gasto kung hagbong ka panalitan, di ba?
lagi.
So ang pangutana sunod nga magatuon og tarong, di ba?
Yeah.
It could be that. But
Yeah.
if you wanna go a step further pa gyud, basig dili ka ganahan sa imong kurso. Mo nang di ka magtuon, basig wa ka ganahan sa imong gibuhat, di ba?
Yeah.
So balik na po na sa number 1, iyang psychological makeup nga maybe you can teach him grit nga to, because in life you have to do things that you don't like.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about earlier, diba? Nga panahon ng delete in the mood. But but life is not a mood thing. Life
Yeah.
happens with or without your mood. Or
Yeah.
so padayon ka, it could be one important element in the educational system. You teach them grit, diba? And number 2, importante gyud na mag-match gyud ang imuhang ganahan sa kinabuhi, imong ganahan tun-an, ug imong actually giskwelahan, diba?
Yeah.
Importante ka ng matching. Kung dili mo match, ang potential for you to wanting to go out or pass the course easily is pretty high, and you'll have to resort to cheating because you don't feel nga it's a reward to know, for example, if you don't like philosophy, to what good does it have that I know what Epictetus taught, right? Like what the hell, right? Like what's the
Yeah,
use
lagi.
of that, right? I'm going to be like an accountant, right? And you don't see the connection, but of course there is
True,
always a
true.
connection, right? Lisod gayo, di ba?
Well, I don't know about always, pero yeah, I think you can relate a lot of things to one another. Ang kanang unsa tawag na? Ang there's a term for that, but like how certain studies, a field of studies can relate to one another. There's a variety of ways to it, and sometimes we don't always see it.
And kind of bitong di ba, we are the age of specialization man, di ba? Grabe na kayo na specialist sa specific diseases, di ba?
Oo.
Like oncologist for cancer, like ophthalmologist for the eyes, and grabe kayo ka specialized ba, di ba? So I think kanang specializations at maybe I don't know what it does. Does that make other? But like you said earlier, kanang specialization, it only appears or is on offer in the tertiary or even graduate studies na, di ba? Nga mo specialize na ka, di ba? Kung let's just say engineering specialty or whatever specialty you want in life, right?
Yeah.
So and mura man gud na og kung mo specialize ka sa kabutang, murag this is already what you want, right?
Yeah.
Okay, specifically I want to learn about the heart, di ba? Pananglitan, or the brain. You're a neuroscientist, you're a neurosurgeon, di ba? So maybe it's a kind of reward, kind of specialization for people who know what they want. Yun, di ba? But it could also be they're just choosing their course, their specialty based on the profitability aspect lang ba, di ba?
Yeah,
Gwapo ning kuan, gwapo ning mag skin doctor ko kay daghan kayo magpa-noslip. Dako kay kwarta. Posible mo pa na. That's actually a major motivator.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Kanang tawag na dermatologist.
Oh, di ba?
Yeah.
Kaning motivator na ba nga ang imuhang kurso dako kwarta. Kana mga
true.
nursing, daghan kay
Nursing,
mga
doctor.
muskuilag nursing kay
Abroad.
sayog trabaho, di ba?
Oo.
And you can't blame them, and that's actually understandable, right? You understand people who take up certain courses because it's profitable, because it'll make them a living, because for most of us the point of it all is to get a job, right?
Yeah.
At the point
job.
of it all is to get a good job, right? And if you have somebody who you spent a good deal of money to educate them, if they don't get a job, if they don't get a good job, a high-paying job, they're viewed as unsuccessful, right?
Yeah.
Murag usik na ko sa imong kartada kung kibaw pa kung magboxer ka nganong eskwela pa man ka og accounting. Nga boxer man di ba?
Yeah, kanang inana lagi.
Di ba?
Yeah, that's a good
Nganong nga janitor man ka oy nga kuan man ka kaning abogado man ka. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating, of course, but akong pasabot ba is society and your parents, your people around you expect you to there's certain expectations based on
what you studied and on your supposed specialization.
Yeah, and ultimately it's really just about that piece of paper. So murag na diminish ng value sa the education ba, because makakita man kagud nga grabe sa kaayo ka kusog ang updates sa kalibutan karon ba nga whatever it is that you learned in school probably won't apply anymore in real life.
Yeah.
Murag obsolete na ba, di ba? Pareha kog cellphone good nga the obsolescence of your iPhone begins when the moment you buy it. Right? like a car. A car when it gets out of the showroom, it's already 100,000 pesos less valuable, right? So pareha ra ng education nga nganong kani ako magipangkatunan sa eskwelahan kabot na sa real life
wala.
My job probably won't exist anymore. Right?
Yeah.
So mag-cheat na lang kung mo man gamit. Right?
Lagi.
That's I think that's a very tempting rationalization ba. Nga kaning mga tanan akong gipangkatunan karon sa akong eskwelahan wa na gamit abot na ko sa real life. Is that true though? Or are we just thinking in a bubble? Is that true? Does a majority of the things that you learn in school apply in real life still? Or are they all dated and need updating and you don't need to learn it at that point?
Well, kuan, I would say
Ikaw ba? Mass communication man ka sa UP, di ba? So may nagamit nimo diri sa imuhang pag-eskwela sa UP College. Not to diminish your educational institution, but unsa may nagkataon nimo be? Unsa may nagamit na nimo dito, nakataon na nimo nagamit diri karon?
Yeah, I would say
would you say that?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the
You're just being safe, man. I mean, naman si Chansey karon.
Namin na si Chansey, so basin ba ko niya. Masuko siya.
Dili na mabargo lagi imong grado lagi. Dili na mabargo imong diploma.
I'd say a lot of the things I learned like when executing tasks while in UP, I would say I've brought some of them here. I wouldn't say all, but some of them I've definitely had to bring with me here, especially because this is still pretty much in line with what I was studying.
Yeah.
Pero
but you're one of the,
I'd say in general, kanang, especially with like primary education and secondary education, that's still that's a good chunk of
your life
in school. So I'd say there's still a lot you learn sa primary and secondary education nga madala gyapon nimo when you get into working life na.
There's even a book, right? I don't know if you've ever read that book. I learned everything in kindergarten. I learned everything I needed to learn in kindergarten. Yeah. So I don't know, man. So we're having a conversation about cheating. I don't know how it devolved into another animal in and of itself. But at the end of the day, we're still wondering, and I think one of these things is just for these institutions to talk to each other. The academia, the society at large. Right? Let's talk about how what are the actual requirements of the job, and of course also the students, right? Okay, para gyud ako ba ultimately, kung if you want to really simplify it ba, it's really the primal urge to make things and have things easy.
Yeah.
Kay dili ta ganahan og kalisod.
Yeah.
Di ba? Dili ta ganahan kalisod, dili ta ganahan samok mabisi aning tuon-tuon nga tanaw pa makog sini, duha pa makog video game. Magtanaw pa makog Netflix, di ba? Which actually kung una-una nimo diha na nimo makitaan nga dili ka aligned sa imong ganahan sa imong kinabuhi. Ang ipangbuhat nimo dili ka ganahan, napugos lang ka, di ba? Diba? So
okay.
maybe ganan ka mag-gamer siguro di ay. Diba? So there are actual courses for that particular desire and passion, right?
Yeah, I think they recently started up some kanang gaming related courses.
But also kanang imong mga kalisod, kanang imong mga butang nga dili nimo ganahan sa eskwelahan. That's also a great lesson in life nga. In real life, there are many things that you'll have to do that you don't want, and I think, and just doing it, it serves as a lesson too.
Yeah, definitely. I can agree with that.
Dagan kay butang paperwork. I told you about. I hate paperwork, right? But
who doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't. But yeah, since we're a very lean team here, I have to do a little bit of that, right? But I don't want to. Just it's too difficult for me. So anyway. I guess that's it. Would you like to say anything else, Ralph, before we wrap it up? Did we cover everything about why we cheat and why we're all cheaters? And I'm not saying all of us are, but a majority, as far as the study goes, it's 86%.
Yeah. Pretty good chunk of students.
How about you guys? Do you agree or disagree? Please send us your comments, Tops Media Center, at Tops Media Center on Facebook page, on our Facebook page, on YouTube, and also on TikTok. You can also email us, hello@topsmediacenter.com, okay, or Jiggy at Tops Media Center, and tell us how you feel about our conversation, and if there's a topic na ganahan nimo ang atong hisgutan sa atong programa kada buntag, email lang. Jiggy at topsmediacenter.com or hello@topsmediacenter.com. Ato ang tak na karon 58 minutos nang milabay sa alas 11, 2 minutos na lang paniudto na pod, Ralph. Sa may imong paniudto ron, Ralph.
Well,
kahapon na ba imong paniudto lindot kay tan-aon. Kaning
nindot ang
kaning mo sa to Frankfurter to siya, bacon?
Dili to bacon, corned beef to. Yeah.
Corned beef sorry, yeah.
Anya Hungarian nga sausage.
Wow, lami ata na ano eh. Di ba, I've never actually tried doing that. I've never tried eating corned beef and Hungarian. That combination ba? It's
Really?
kind of a in terms of taste profile, pare-pareho naman. Usually kung Hungarian, I usually have like pickles, di ba? Pickles or
okay.
even egg, di ba?
Something to like.
So kanang murag sharp sila og flavor ba? Taste profile ang corned beef ug ang sausage Frankfurter ba?
Yeah.
So mo day you had like a mountain of rice, di ba? Kay parat ka imong mga sudan, di ba? So kamo di unsa inyong pangapaniud to, i-share lang pud namo. I-text lang me. Maybe you can text 0999-887-6070 or maybe you can join us in our Facebook page, Tops Media Center. Please press like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tops Media Center. Maing buntag, Hart Haron, Juni Sabiliano, Anthony Marlon S., and the rest. Thank you so much for joining our top of the morning topic of the day. What is our topic again, Ralph?
Are we all cheaters?
Did we answer that question?
Well, I certainly hope so.
86%. To be more specific. Not all.
Not all.
There's a 14% group. Losers. I'm just kidding. You're not, okay? Keep being honest. And teach us how to be. So we will grow up to be honest and not corrupt politicians.
True.
On 105.1 TMC.